President Uhuru Kenyatta's term in office is coming to an end next year. Before President Uhuru Kenyatta took over, Mwai Kibaki was in office for 10 years. So which means collectively, Mount Kenya region shall have ruled this country after Moi for 20 good years. And most Kenyans believed that 2022 was going to be one of those unique elections where Mount Kenya region will not have a credible presidential candidate. But from all indications, Mount Kenya might produce a presidential candidate. So in this video today, I want us to try and figure out why Mount Kenya region are pushing for a presidential candidate. But before you do that, if you are watching this channel for the first time, I want you to take a second or two and click the subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Let me ask you a simple question. Who is likely to be the next president of the Republic of Kenya? I know the answer will be Ruto, Raila. Those are the people believe are likely to become the next president. But Moses Kuria made some interesting posts, let me just get it, on his social media accounts yesterday. And just like I've always maintained that Moses Kuria might actually be a Trojan horse. Moses Kuria is saying, let me just get it. Moses Kuria is saying on his Facebook page, he's saying something very interesting, that what the BBI ruling means. Number one, the biggest winner is Uhuru Kenyatta. He has always yearned to retire with Raila Odinga. He achieved that tonight. That is saying that Uhuru had always wanted to retire with Raila Odinga. But that's not important. Number two is saying the One Kenya Alliance orphans are now available on transfer fee. Grab one while stock lasts. Okay, that's the meaning to the One Kenya Alliance leadership, but it's okay. His third comment is what attracted my attention. Moses Kuria is saying a rank outsider will emerge to be the 5th president of the Republic of Kenya. Keep this post for future reference. Who is this rank outsider? Is this outsider going to emerge from the larger Mount Kenya region? That's the question. Because this outsider cannot be Raila Odinga. This outsider cannot be William Samoei Ruto. Moses Kuria has always been known to support the deputy president and his bid for the presidency. And when he talks of an outsider here, then that person cannot be William Samoei Ruto. And yesterday, there was another meeting in Laikipia by Mount Kenya leadership. That meeting was attended by Governor Anne Waiguru, the Kirinyaga governor, the Kiambu governor, James Nyoro, let me put this down, James Nyoro, Laikipia governor, Nderitu. There was, I think Murang'a governor was there, I'm not so sure, but there was also Jeremiah Kioni. And after that meeting, they stated that most of them stated, because that group from the face value, they've always supported Raila Odinga. But from their statement out of that meeting, they stated clearly that they've not endorsed Raila Amolo Odinga and that Mount Kenya region welcomes any other leader to the region. Why do you think these guys made those statements? But that's not important again. Let me take you to another post by a gentleman called Irungu Nyakera. Irungu Nyakera is the principal secretary in the State Department of Transport. He wants to run for the Murang'a gubernatorial seat. Nyakera is making a very interesting post also on his social media. Let me just get the post. Because these are people you can't take their words for granted. This is an individual who is deeply in government. This is what he's saying. Let's pick Karahuku, I don't know what it means today. The Tangatanga team says they will win at least 60% of Mount Kenya. The Kileweke people say they only need 20% of Mount Kenya for their presidential candidate to carry the day. That's Raila Odinga. And Mount Kenya leaders are busy fighting on who will be deputy president of either factions. Of course, there's that attractiveness. The fact that most people believe that Mount Kenya will not produce a presidential candidate, it becomes attractive because they have the numbers. So Raila Odinga would want to have a running mate from there. Ruto would want to have a running mate from there. Even Kalonzo, even Weta, or even Musalia Mudavadi. So he's saying, let me just continue. He's saying, it therefore begs the question, when did the mountain begin begging to play second fiddle? You have the numbers and you still want to beg. So basically, the main reason why Mount Kenya region wants to sponsor their own candidate is because they have the perceived numbers. Politics is a game of numbers. So if you have the perceived numbers, then why should you beg? People should be begging you, not you guys begging for people. And up to that point, I agree with him. And he's saying Mount Kenya needs to produce a presidential candidate. Now listen to this strategy. Mount Kenya needs to produce a presidential candidate who will guarantee a runoff in 2022. So they need a presidential candidate, and the role of this candidate is going to play a spoiler so that we go for a runoff. That candidate can then properly negotiate the Mount Kenya agenda. So he's suggesting that they go for a runoff. I mean, they sponsor a candidate and rally behind that candidate. That candidate is going to occasion a runoff, because the fact is, without Mount Kenya region, Ruto's presidential bid is kaput. So automatically they'll produce a candidate. That candidate is going to occasion a runoff, and he'll have the MPs, he'll have the senators, he'll have the governors and MCS. Then during runoff, he's suggesting here that that candidate can then properly negotiate the Mount Kenya agenda from a position of strength, or even become the next president. When did Mount Kenya men become boys? Irungu Nyakera asks. Now that's the thinking around many people from the larger Mount Kenya region, politically speaking. I want to get off that for now, but I want to ask you a simple question. Based on numbers, do you think Mount Kenya region, if they were to deliver their votes, let's say to Moses Kuria or even to Justin Muturi, do you think that's enough to make Justin Muturi a president? I don't think it can, but it can decide who becomes the next president of the Republic of Kenya. But why do you think Mount Kenya people are now pushing for one of their own, or for the unity of the Mount Kenya region? Because one thing we know for sure is that the Mount Kenya region, since Mwai Kibaki time, has always voted as a bloc. That's the fact. The second fact is that in the next general election, 2022, they had the purpose to support the Deputy President William Samoei Ruto. But from all indications, that's not going to happen. Ruto lazima ajipange. He might get the bulk of those votes, but not what he had actually intended. But why do you think they're now pushing for unity? Because we know Mount Kenya region has always been united. Why are they now pushing for unity? In my view, they want to sponsor a candidate because of the following reasons. Number one is what I've talked about previously, the game of numbers. You see, Mount Kenya region today is divided. Ruto has his team already. But is that team negotiating well for the region? That's the question. I don't think it's negotiating well for the region. And is Ruto using the right strategy for Mount Kenya region? So far, he has used the right strategy, but I think there's something which he has missed. He ought to have had someone as the leader of the Mount Kenya region from his side. As we speak today, Moses Kuria was emerging now out of it. The former Minister for Agriculture, Mwangi Kiunjuri, was emerging out of it now. At some point, there was even the talk of Anne Waiguru emerging out of it. But today, there is this bitter guy, the member of parliament for Madeira, Rigathi Gachagua. But Rigathi Gachagua cannot really be perceived to be the leader of the larger Mount Kenya region. But these guys have the numbers. And those numbers, it's what they want to use to negotiate. Let me go to another post by Pauline Njoroge. For those who know Pauline Njoroge, is also part of the deep state. Pauline Njoroge also made a very interesting post. Let me just get it. Pauline Njoroge is saying somewhere, Pauline Njoroge is saying, In my opinion, it's clear from all indications that Raila Odinga would be a more trustworthy ally in supporting Mount Kenya and securing Mount Kenya's interests, especially those that touch on resources and representation, than William Ruto. For starters, Ruto doesn't even want to negotiate with Mount Kenya political parties. He has already branded them tribal. Now, that's the fact thing. Game of numbers. These guys have numbers. But so far, there's nobody, apart from Uhuru Kenyatta, who can be perceived to be their leader. But they want to negotiate. So because they have the numbers, they are saying, either we sponsor a candidate or you listen to us. And that these numbers can only matter when we are united. And the same statement which Anne Waiguru made and the group in Laikipia is the same statement which Mwangi Kiunjuri also made last week. So that's number one. Number two, I think the main objective of this strategy is to lock William Samoei Ruto out of the larger Mount Kenya region. And who could be this? The guy behind this could be President Uhuru Kenyatta himself. The president has pronounced himself that he's going to support Raila Odinga. But Raila Odinga is finding it difficult to penetrate the larger Mount Kenya region. Then what happens? You must figure a way out of locking out William Ruto out of the larger Mount Kenya region. How do you do that? Simple. Sponsor a candidate, let this candidate run. Then this candidate is going to get a huge chunk of the votes. Let's say even 50% of the larger Mount Kenya region, or even 60%, because Mount Kenya can decide to vote for one of their own. The perception outside there is that Mount Kenya region will always vote for one of their own. So if they can package a candidate, then that candidate, they are going to rally fully behind him. Then the candidate is going to compete with Ruto, because so far, Raila Odinga is not having a lot of impact on the ground. He has those percentages, but not big impact. So if that candidate can go outside there, get some votes, deny Ruto, because any vote you get from the larger Mount Kenya region is actually working against the deputy president. So they'll go outside there, get the votes, then after getting those votes, elections will be over. The guy will be number 4 or number 3. Then you have two guys, Raila and Ruto. Then this candidate is going now to be told to lead Mount Kenya region into negotiations. He's going to negotiate with the next leader. Who has the interest of the larger Mount Kenya region? The one man, one vote shilling. Who opposed the BBI, which guaranteed that. So that's the point I'm trying to say. That it could be a strategy by President Uhuru Kenyatta to deny Ruto the votes from the larger Mount Kenya region. And in my view, that's the main thing. Number 3, I think it's also about local politics. Anne Waiguru, they read to the Laikipia governor, you talk of Jeremiah Kioni, and all these other guys supporting Raila Odinga. The president is supporting Raila Odinga. These guys are also supporting the president, and therefore they are supporting Raila Odinga. But politics is local. When they go to the ground, Raila Odinga is not much on the ground. Because as long as Raila Odinga is not the preferred, as long as Raila Odinga can even get 30 or 40, which would be good for Raila, but as long as Raila is not getting the advantage over Ruto in the larger Mount Kenya region, it means they're likely to lose. And because they can't support Ruto, these guys must get out of Raila's shadow, pursue their own agenda, come up with a political party, support one of their own, then they go for elections, they win their seats. After winning their seats, now they can come with their candidate who is number 3 or number 4, then negotiate and support Raila Odinga. So I think because politics is local, these guys would want a situation where they are able to go to the ground, campaign for their guy without thinking about Raila Odinga. The guy will win, they will win. Then it's simple like that. Number 4, in my view, is about negotiations. Mount Kenya region has the numbers. They have the economy in their hands. Then the presidency is now out of reach for them. How do they negotiate? Ruto might give them a running mate. But who is that running mate? Who is going to control that running mate? Because Ruto is choosing a running mate of his own choice. Okay, if that's going to happen, can that running mate negotiate for them? Raila Odinga is likely to run. Might choose someone from the larger Mount Kenya region. So basically, this idea of meeting or running for the presidency by someone from the larger Mount Kenya region, in my view, is about negotiations. They want to negotiate. they can only negotiate if they are united, if they have someone they've identified. The only problem is that President Uhuru Kenyatta, in my view, has not given clear directive to the people of the larger Mount Kenya region on what and where to vote. And lastly, I think they're also trying to set agenda for their campaigns in the region. BBI has failed, but then there was the one man, one vote, one shilling campaign, which was being supported by both camps. Now BBI is out. What agenda do they tell the people? So they have to identify someone, and then they identify the issues of the region, and then after identify those issues affecting the regions, then they can sit down and come up with a clear agenda, that our agenda is going to be about Mount Kenya political interest, or it's going to be what we are losing when it comes to BBI. And that again, let me refer you to another post by one man called Moses Kuria. I like Moses Kuria because I always believe that Moses Kuria is a Trojan horse. And this is what Moses Kuria is saying, that the BBI project was largely a set of some very few good ideas executed by the wrong people, in the wrong way, for the wrong reasons. Good, it has fallen. But the question of the Mount Kenya counties getting too little of the national cake while contributing too much in baking that cake will have to be resolved one way or the other. Na sio tafadhali. So also, if you listen to the tone of Moses Kuria's statement, that statement alone, it means that there is something which the people of the larger Mount Kenya region were trying to tell them. You know, these guys were opposed to BBI, but later on it came to them, it dawned on them that indeed this BBI had some very good clauses. It had very good ideas which was going to help the people of the larger Mount Kenya region, but they rejected. So from Moses Kuria, I deduced that these guys are now trying to come up with a different agenda for the Mount Kenya region. And this agenda is what they're going to take to the people. And probably the people will listen to it, or the people will reject. I don't know what you think. Let me hear your thoughts on that. And again, for the last time, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please always just click thumbs up, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe. Because if you subscribe, or when you subscribe, what happens is that when you subscribe, what happens is that the next time we produce a similar video, YouTube will notify you. So just click subscribe, and then you click that bell notification, so that anytime we produce a video we post, you will always be notified. Thank you guys, and please, may you have a good day. I have 2 other videos to do. One video is that I tend to think that Raila Odinga is actually happy that the BBI has fallen finally. So it's a blessing in disguise for Raila Odinga. So that's a video I'm thinking of doing. And then also Moses Kuria, is he abandoning the deputy president? And what is his game plan after the BBI? Because he was using this BBI to campaign on the ground. Thank you guys, and may you have a good day. Bye-bye.